Well, over the last couple of weeks, a number of players from SSE or Tricity League teams have been involved in the Extratime esports cup, all in aid of Cystic Fibrosis Ireland. There was two groups of 5 teams, with 2 teams making it out to play in the semi-finals. And on Sunday evening, Extratime.ie through its social media channels will be putting the final out there. And the final will be between Tyreke Wilson, who's representing Waterford, and Aaron McEneff, who's representing Shamrock Rovers. Gentlemen, good day to you both. Aaron, how does it feel to have reached the Extratime.ie esports cup final, all in aid of Cystic Fibrosis Ireland?
Thanks for having me on, Oisin. No, it's been a good tournament the whole way through, really, and obviously it's for a good cause. So it's good to be involved in the final, and I think it's a good thing during this tough time for everyone. Like for fans, they maybe stay connected and with the players and with the clubs and watching games of FIFA and stuff like that. So I've really enjoyed being a part of the tournament, and I'm looking forward to the final on Sunday.
Tyreke, as we speak to you, you're actually out walking the dog. There's only so many times in a day, though, that you can do that. And I think Ireland has some of the world's tiredest dogs at the moment. They're being walked so much. But aside from walking the dog, you've been playing this. Is this a good way to kind of keep yourself active and kind of stay involved in football? And also, as Aaron has said, keep that connection to the fans?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Like we all know, it's a tough time at the moment, and this is for a good cause at the end of the day, but we're all competitive lads and we all want to win it at the end of the day. So the group stages were tough. Had some tough teams to beat, but luckily enough I got in the final. I'm looking forward to that on Sunday.
Aaron, how much of this would you have played previous to the last couple of weeks when you've had the time to do it?
I would play a fair amount of FIFA, like with the lads off our team and stuff. And my brothers play FIFA as well, so I play against them and online, like co-op seasons and stuff like that. So I enjoy playing FIFA. But these games have obviously been a bit more serious, like, because you're playing against lads around the league. Like, there's a wee bit of pressure on them. And
you're the eldest of your family, so does that mean you're the best, or does that mean you're the worst and you have to catch up with the younger ones?
I'm definitely not the best, anyway. I'd say I'm probably the worst, to be fair, like, out of the 3 of us. But it's a bit of crack, isn't it, playing a game of FIFA? And obviously with this tournament, as Tyreke said, there is a wee bit of that competitive age, but it's good to see so many lads that's come and got involved.
Tyreke, how about you? What was your skill level like FIFA-wise before this whole thing started?
Yeah, it wasn't bad. Like, not going to lie, I play a lot of FIFA, and I have over the last few years, especially when I was away in England. So yeah, I'm not going to lie, I've been playing a lot, like most days of the week, to be honest. So I've been getting good practice in. I think I have that bit over the other lads. I probably played a bit more than the other lads, so I might have that bit
locked up and dig.
Exactly.
And Tyreke, you were away at Manchester City. Was this a good way of staying in contact with lads you'd played with at Cherry Orchard and the other clubs you'd been involved in, or even friends and family? Was it a good way of kind of doing that without necessarily having to go through the awkwardness of a whole phone call, which people seem to be hesitant to make?
Yeah, no, definitely, yeah. That's pretty much how mostly I kept in contact with my friends and football friends, and that was over the PlayStation, and all of us being in a big party together and chatting away and whatever. So that's why, well, not saying that's why I obviously enjoyed playing FIFA or whatever, but I did stay in contact with a lot of my friends and people like that. So yeah, it was good in that way as well.
And come here, when you were early in your Manchester City career, you broke your leg. I think you were only 13. So you had to essentially stop playing for a long time and recover. Does this kind of time remind you of that, whereby, you know, you are a footballer, you want to play football, but you can't play football, you have to find other things to do? Is that kind of similar? Is that kind of similar to what you're going through right now?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like I said, I broke my leg and I had another 2 bad injuries. I broke my 2 feet as well. So there's been a lot of spare time to do stuff, and obviously, like now, FIFA, you can play a lot of that now, like, because you can't go out and play golf or like I did, like, or play snooker or whatever. So yeah, it's just FIFA.
Aaron, have many of your teammates been in contact with you throughout this run, especially Aaron Green, who has been the player of the tournament so far? And it's been a big couple of weeks for Aaron, because he's been the player of the tournament in the Extratime.ie esports cup in aid of Cystic Fibrosis Ireland, and he's also welcomed a new arrival into the world.
I would speak to Greener nearly every day, to be fair, and he rang me on, it was Monday, I think, when he had his baby, and he was showing me her on the phone and stuff. So I'm obviously delighted for him and his wife and his family. It's obviously a hard time around now to sort of have a kid, because he was explaining like how he could only stay in there for a few minutes after the kid was born and stuff. But on the pitch for me on FIFA, he's been on flames, to be fair. He scored. He has to be up there for a goal of the tournament with the one he scored in the semi-final against Dan O'Kelly. Scored like an overhead kick. But
and had you ever seen him do that in real life? Do you think he could do that in real life?
No chance.
Do you think he'll try when you're all back together now that the bar has been set for him by himself?
Absolutely not. No way. Greener doesn't have that in him.
Has he stopped eating chips off the ground in the last couple of weeks? And just to explain that, he scored against Sligo a couple of weeks ago, and someone had thrown chips onto the pitch, and he ate one by way of celebration while running back to the halfway line.
To be fair, he's a big character in our change room. And he loves a bit of banter, so whenever he did that in Sligo, I wasn't surprised at all.
Tyreke, how frustrating was it for you for football to stop when it did? Rightfully, it obviously had to. But Waterford were having an okay season. You were playing a bit of ball. You were happy with how things were going.
Yeah. Well, obviously we're a new group together. It's pretty much a new team, so we were just building that foundation, and everyone was getting used to each other. Like we had a decent start, and then a bit of a blip, and then we came back sort of. So it was a bit bad timing when it come. But like we all still stay in touch, and the comrade and all still there. So we're just looking forward to get back going, getting back into it.
And how are you finding playing at the RSC? They're an enthusiastic crowd, aren't they?
Yeah, they're really good. Like if you start winning a few games, the fans do really get behind you. But obviously it's gonna take us a while to get gelled together and get used to each other fully. But I think that's definitely coming. You can see it in our performances, and the results hopefully soon come in the near future.
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll be back on the pitch sooner rather than later. Aaron, for you, you're a Derry man, but you have a real connection to Shamrock Rovers. Your dad is originally from Dolphins Barn, and he was a big Rovers fan.
Yeah, he obviously. I didn't really. Well, when I was playing at Derry, I wouldn't have knew actually how much of a Rovers fan he was. But since I moved to Dublin, like he would just tell me stories and stuff of him growing up and going to the games and stuff. And it actually turns out that he was a big fan, and he used to go to every game. So there is that connection there. And I suppose like since I've moved down, I've had sort of a good connection between myself and the fans, and it's something that it's really helped me settle into the club.
And that is important, to have that connection, and it's important as well to kind of set up your own legacy as a group, as this generation of Shamrock Rovers players, because the club has a great history, and obviously your dad would have been a fan when they were in Milltown, but you've got Tala, and there's something special building. I mean, looking from the outside, I get that sense, and as much as it sickens me, Aaron, being a Cork City fan, but I do, jokes aside, get that sense of something special building in Tala, literally and metaphorically.
No, well, like I think we've got a really good group of players and a good coaching staff behind us at the minute. Every one of them's all good lads, and they're striving towards the same goal. And I think that you can see that on the pitch. And we obviously had a good start this year, and like under the circumstances, we've obviously had to stop playing. But hopefully, as Tyreke said, like we can get back out there soon and get playing again. Because it obviously is a frustrating time for everyone. But in terms of like, as you say, something special, like as a group of players, you can play the nice football and you can get decent results in Europe or whatever. But I think with us last year going on, they won the FAA Cup. That was massive, and to be considered a special group of players, then you have to continue to win things.
And you scored a penalty in the 89th minute of that cup final, so you're well used to pressure situations. You've got a pressure situation coming up on Sunday evening. in the Extratime.ie esports cup final. How are you fixed ahead of that? How do you compare the pressure of building up to this final compared to the pressure of building up to the FAI Cup final?
To be honest, whenever I seen this fellow's result in the semi-final, then I can tell that there's big pressure. He beat Bowes 4-1 in the semi, so I'm expecting I'd need a monster performance to give it a go, but we'll see how things go. You never know what could happen.
Tyreke, how are you feeling?
Yeah, good. Quite confident, but I know Aaron's a decent FIFA player, so I think it'll be quite tight. He obviously beat Dan O'Kelly in the semis, and he was the only lad who beat me, and beat me well, to be fair. So I think it'll be tight enough. We'll have to wait and see.
Gentlemen, just before I let you go, what is the one thing that you're looking forward to doing when all of this ends and our current normal ends and we go back to the normal we used to know, or something like it? Tyreke, I'll start with you.
Just to be back playing in the RSC in front of our fans. That'll be the biggest one, and obviously a few points outwards.
Aaron, what about you?
Probably going for a Nando's, to be honest.
Oh, really? You're a big Nando's man?
Nah, I'm joking. I obviously just want things to get back to normal, and in doing so, like everybody, they do it safely and sort of pull through this together. Like.
Yep, I think that's the key message. Tyreke Wilson and Aaron McEneff of Waterford FC and Shamrock Rovers, respectively, thank you very much for joining us. You are playing each other in the Extratime.ie esports cup, all in aid of Cystic Fibrosis Ireland. And if you want to find out how to donate to them, you can do it through the Cystic Fibrosis Ireland social media channels. You can go to @CF Ireland on Twitter. Aaron and Tyreke, thank you very much, and the very best of luck in the final.
Cheers for that.
Back again here, and we're back for the final. It's Aaron McEneff against Tyreke Wilson off Waterford. Big game. I'm looking forward to it. Extratime.ie esports cup final. Just putting the squad through here. Unchanged squad from the semi-final, so it's going to be a good game. Looking forward to it. Let's go. Tyreke's still making a few changes. I think he might be nervous.
Hello everyone, Tyreke here from Waterford. Going into the final now, just doing my team here. Yeah, feeling confident enough. I know Aaron McEneff is decent, so I think he'll be tight enough. But I'm going with pretty much the same team that got me here, so sticking with Mikey O'Connor and Will Longbottom up top. Then I have Scotty and Robbie midfield, Ali Q and Callum Smith. So I'm ready. Here we go.
Welcome along to the final of the Extratime.ie esports cup in aid of Cystic Fibrosis Ireland. Remember, keep your donations coming in for what is a great cause. They had to cancel 65 Roses Day this year for all the obvious reasons, so if you can help them out, please do. We've had a great tournament. Waterford and Shamrock Rovers have impressed. They have met in big finals before, the FAI Cup finals of 68 and 86. Rovers winning both. It is Rovers who are on the attack with Michael O'Connor, formerly of Dundalk. O'Court, Longbottom, who's been decent enough in the tournament so far, going back outside to Wilson as himself. Coote the Scot looking to find a way through, but he can't. Eric Finn, as always, is with me. Eric, of course, a professional FIFA player. Eric, what are you expecting from the final?
And this game, I think if Tyreke Wilson shows up, which he has done, and obviously so has Aaron McEneff, it could be a very interesting spectacle. But I'm really excited to get this underway because there hasn't been any esports tournaments for myself to watch or even partake in. So this is really the only taste of a competitive game of FIFA I've gotten in a while.
Mick Leach, who scored twice for Rovers in the game against Waterford in 68, the cup final, of course, left Rovers in December of 73 for Waterford. So there is connections between these two great clubs. Aaron McEneff probing. He's been really good with the ball at feet. Puts it down the line for Finn, formerly of Dundalk. Finn pulls it across. Waterford get it clear, but only for now. Here's McEneff, goes backwards to Bulger, the Wexford man, out to Farrugia. He got 600 points in his leaving. Will he be able to get a goal here? Burn! Straight at Brian Murphy, the international goalkeeper, who flings it back down the line, and Waterford get going again. Longbottom has to go backwards to McCourt. Michael O'Connor chasing after this one. He's onto it. He's at a tight enough angle. Will he be able to get a shot away? Looks like he's setting it up. He is for Smith. Oh, he should have done better. He should have scored. Waterford should be leading in the cup final.
Yeah, that's very unlucky there. He didn't do very much wrong. He did great to stand on the ball, cut it back, because you know yourself, that's the most effective way to score this year, essentially. And did everything right, just went by the post, unfortunately.
Well, we know there are goals in this Waterford team. They beat Bohemians 4-1 in the semi-final. Danny Grant playing as Bohemians. Daniel Kelly and Dundalk, the only team to beat Waterford in the tournament so far. Just in case you're only coming to us now, we'll get to that point in a second, because here comes McCourt. It's 1-0. Waterford hit the front in the Extratime.ie esports cup final.
Slid free, one-on-one.
That's why only room me, pal.
Awful defending from us.
Stick together.
Awful defending.
Yeah, he's big up in his roommate there, Tyreke Wilson, but what play that was in the midfield. He just pinged him the passing around in and around the midfield, and really made a show of Aaron McEneff's attempts at defending. But I think they're just as good as each other going forward, so this could be a very high scoring game.
That was a lovely finish. Talk to me about how he would have controlled that, Eric.
He probably would have used a finesse shot, which is holding R1 or RB on your controller while shooting, which kind of gives your player a bit more composure when he's trying to shoot on goal.
So far the Hoops have the Blues. They're 1-0 down. Green puts it inside for Burke. Burke! Great save by Murphy. It's at the cost of a corner. Could have been worse for Waterford. Out it goes, and it's added to. Longbottom's going to chase after this one. He's not going to get there. Lafferty, the Northern Ireland international, is dispossessed. McCourt, the goal scorer. Out to Wilson as himself. Formerly of Manchester City and Cherry Orchard, Tyreke Wilson. Allardyce. Mikey O'Connor, that's lovely play. Longbottom is in behind here. Longbottom to finish. Good save by Manus. That was really good goalkeeping.
Yeah, he done very well to bring out the goalkeeper there, and I think he should have done the same as the first shot or goal that he had, which was a finesse shot. Instead, he kind of just put his laces through it and went for the best, but unfortunately, to no avail.
Lafferty. Bulger, formerly of Cork City and St. Pat's. Aaron McEneff as himself, back to Byrne. Tried to play a 1-2 with Byrne. It just didn't happen for him. He's not as smooth today as he has been throughout the tournament. Here's Michael O'Connor. Down the line it goes to Longbottom. Back to O'Connor. Nice drag back. Longbottom. Allardyce. Over the top it goes, looking for Longbottom, or O'Connor doesn't find either. Here's Green, who's done so much damage in this tournament, and once again, congratulations to him and his wife, who welcomed a new baby into the world this week. It's in behind for O'Connor, who's at a tight angle, tries to square it for Longbottom. That was really, really good defending. Not quite sure who got back for Rovers, but smart play from Aaron McEneff. And here comes Green. Byrne back to Green, he's dispossessed. Rovers have it back. Burke. This is really good play from Tyreke Wilson. I think so far we're seeing his best performance of the tournament.
Yeah, big time. But I think for most of the games in the tournament so far, oh my God, here we go.
Here's McCourt. Squares it. He gets there.
I can't believe he's
It's
just done that.
Robbie, you're on fire.
I cannot
mate. One
believe
assist,
he's
one
just
goal.
done that.
Come on, you players.
Sweaty goal. Cannot believe he's done that.
Anyone that dominates. Really appreciate
Sure,
it.
man, Ron's killing it here. Killing it.
No, that was a very good goal. Very. Now, what Aaron McEneff was saying is a sweaty goal, which is where you just square it to somebody beside you, leaving an open net. It's usually something you don't do against your mates, but I think he forgets that this is a competitive game, so anything kind of goes. But great play, great goal, fair play to Tyreke Wilson.
Aaron needs something here. Can he get it? Burke turning and twisting. Pushed out wide by Odemeo. Burke. Green. Can't find a way through. He's built a blue wall there. Here's Farrugia. Lovely play by Byrne as always in the real world and the FIFA world. McEneff McEneff finding space, getting it behind for Byrne, who goes with the drag back and wins a corner. That has worked so well so far in the tournament for Aaron McEneff, that drag back, but Waterford are wise to it. Tyreke, a really good defender, as he is in the real world. Waterford defended comfortably again. Coote gets it up to Longbottom. Running onto it is Smith. Lafferty. Intercepted. Well, as any Waterford fan will tell you about a cup final, so long as only one ball remains on the pitch, it'll be all right. I assume, Eric, you're too young to remember what I'm talking about. But,
of course,
Longford and
you're double my age.
Waterford and Longford in a cup final from, I think, the early 2000s, and Longford got a goal when there was 2 balls on the pitch.
Did the goal count?
It did, and Longford won the cup. That's a very rudimentary version of that story. I'm sure there's more detail to it.
I'll look
I'm
it
not
up.
remembering right now. Perugia in behind for Byrne. Byrne, who was so good in the cup final last year. Rovers winning it for the first time since 1987.
So half time here now, 2-0, pretty comfortable. Probably should be 3-0 up, to be honest, but trying to seal this final now. Gonna keep the team the way it is.
Well, why would you change it?
I think he's gonna go attacking now, so he's gonna be wide open for the counter.
Half time, 2-0 Waterford. Can't really complain about that, to be honest. Tyreke's been the better player. I think the third man run is killing us, and he's had 2 well worked goals, even though one of them was a sweaty goal, but you never know. It's a game of 2 halves football, so hopefully we'll get back in it for the second half. Let's go.
You mentioned a 3-man run or a third-man run there, Eric. What's he talking about?
Kind of just so you can press LB and a pass button, A, or L1 and X, and might be on PlayStation. So it's basically you pass, but the player that made the pass just darts forward and kind of makes a run. That's usually the third passer or the third player running forward. So it's something that he's been doing very well and it's done very well for him.
Oh, they're in behind again. This could be it. Oof, good save by Manus, who's kept his team in the game.
Yeah, what an important save that is. That could be pinnacle in this game.
Rovers need to spark something here. That's good work from Bulger. As we say, Extra Time and Cystic Fibrosis Ireland got together to create this tournament because, well, 1, we wanted to raise funds for a great organisation, and 2, we wanted to keep the football community together, and we wanted to do something together even though we can't actually go to football. Sadly for Shamrock Rovers, and I suppose the League of Ireland at large, we've lost one of our family in the last couple of days. Anthony MacDonald, a matchday volunteer at Tala for Shamrock Rovers, sadly passing away. We send our condolences to all at Shamrock Rovers and to Anthony MacDonald's friends and family. There is actually if you go to the Shamrock Rovers Twitter account, you'll find a link that's raising funds for the funeral expenses, so if you could support that would be great. Here's Michael O'Connor, good save by Manus. Coote, Scott, that's a good shot, but just misses.
Yeah, it's looking very one-sided so far this game. He does have a half an hour left. Who knows? He could make. I think he needs to make a few tactical changes because it looks like his left and right wings are way too pushed forward. They can't come to get the ball, and he needs to take more possession of the ball to beat Tyreke Wilson. We've seen that in the past where I think Tyreke Wilson was beaten 4-0 or 5-1 in and around that score early on in the group. But that was only because he didn't have as much possession as the other player, I'd imagine. But we'll see. Half an hour left. Let's see what happens.
Perugia slipped inside. They need a goal. Can they get something? I think they may have got a corner. They have. Byrne taking the corner. He doesn't do his little build-up in FIFA like he does in the real world, which is ironic really because it looks like something from a cartoon. Here's Byrne. Stands it up well. Waterford get it clear, but only as far as a hoop jersey. Waterford have it back. I think it was Allardyce there again, the Scottish defensive midfielder who scored in this game. Joined Bowes in 2019, but is now part of the Waterford revolution, along with the likes of Graham Cummins and Sam Bowen and Tyreke as well. Alan Reynolds building a strong squad. Can that strong squad find a third? Not right now, but the ball still bouncing around the penalty box. Aaron McEneff needs a goal and he needs it quickly.
I think if it wasn't for the Rovers keeper, this game would have been long done a while ago.
Green back inside. Bulger scored a stunner in the semi-final. His team need one now, if he can produce it, or at the very least, a good cross. Bulger. The Wexford man finds Byrne. Byrne just outside the box. That's a brilliant tackle by O'Demayo. His tackling and his defence has been on point, and his finishing hasn't been too bad either. Michael O'Connor coming forward, looking for the winner. Michael O'Connor with a delicious chip and a beautiful goal. And Waterford are on their way to the cup title.
Get in there, game over.
That's right.
Oh my God.
Sit down, fella.
Well,
Fair play,
get a
lad.
replay
That's
of that.
unbelievable stuff. Fair play.
Some
And you're making
subs.
subs as well.
well, not since the 60s have Waterford enjoyed such a golden period.
No, I
Three in a
must
row in
say.
the league from 68 to 70.
What a finish that was. To have such composure to stop on the ball, kind of cut back, wait for the keeper to really dedicate himself to saving the shot that never came. To chip him then, that's very top class. His counter-attacking has been surreal, and his tackling, as you mentioned, O'Shane. It's just amazing to watch, to be honest. Fair play to him. 3-0 up, 20 minutes left. It's virtually impossible, but who knows? It's a game of FIFA, so we never know.
Keep your donations coming into Cystic Fibrosis Ireland. You'll find out more detail through the Extra Time social media channels or the website Extratime.ie or the Cystic Fibrosis Ireland Twitter account. That's at CF Ireland. Oh, Waterford have given away the ball. Shamrock Rovers might be in here. It's Burke. Can they find a way back into the game? No, they can't. Murphy showing his international class between the sticks yet again. Allardyce, out the wing it goes. Fitzgerald is onto it. It's 3 against 2 in favour of Rovers inside. Fitzgerald carries it. So cool under pressure. Oh, this could be 4. It's another save from Manis. And God knows how one-sided this game would actually be if it wasn't for Alamanis.
Yeah. I'm very surprised. My keeper never plays that well for me.
Tyreke has grown throughout this tournament, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think he must have been practicing when he wasn't playing in these games specifically, because he's really took it another level.
Rovers are offside. It's frustration for Green. It's frustration for Aaron, as you can see on your screen there.
Aaron
He
really
does
should
not
have
look
had
like
a
a
goal
happy
there
man,
as
does
well.
he? Sorry?
He really should have had a goal there as well. There when the ball was given away sillily by Tyreke. He could have even just squared the ball himself, but he went for a goal, and I don't think that was the right choice myself. Could have really maybe got him back into the game, but I guess it wasn't meant to be.
Well, in the real world, Waterford lost 2-0 to Rovers in February when these two last met. Reece Marshall and O'Demayo with the goals. O'Demayo obviously getting an own goal, the Waterford player. Waterford were reduced to 10 men after 16 minutes of that game. They're getting a measure of revenge here. Here's Longbottom. Sets it up nicely for Fitzgerald, who should have done better.
Yeah, I don't really know what to say about that. I don't think he did anything wrong. It's just not a great shot. That's all we can put it down to.
Waterford cruising at the moment. O'Connor, Fitzgerald, Bowen, who's capable of a stunning goal himself. Nice play by Wolf. Well, just as I say that, to give it away. McEneff has himself. Byrne. Back inside to McEneff. Back to Bulger. Bulger might let one go. Bulger. Good save. Byrne with the in-swinger. Murphy gets a strong hand on that. Can Rovers get even one? No, they can't. O'Connor. Down the line it goes to Longbottom. Can they finish with a flourish? Longbottom! It's 4! It's as resounding as it gets.
Yes! I don't know what to say, really.
Comfortable.
4-0 in a cup final. That is
4-0.
superb.
Good night.
I'm getting a lesson here.
Okay, everyone, you can
A lesson
donate
on
to
FIFA.
the charity.
Which is Cystic Fibrosis Ireland, as you can see.
Another great goal. His counter-attacks have just been superb. I think tactically, Aaron McEneff wasn't added today, really, because I think his left and right backs are coming way too far forward. Instead, just that's to accommodate the left and right wings that are pushed far forward as well, and that's really given gaps then, obviously, defensively. But he's played very well all tournament. He did come in late as well, and he made it to the finals, so props to him for that. So to get one would be nice, but if not, he did very well to get to the final.
Murphy's made some good saves. Yep, what worked for him earlier in the tournament hasn't really worked today, I think it's fair to say. He likes to get the ball up the wing quick and kind of cut it back, but Tyreke must have seen that. Like, Tyreke, to me, looks like a guy who watched a few of Aaron's games and actually planned very well for this final.
Yeah, I absolutely agree, because it seems he's just cutting them inside and out when he's gone down them wings.
Well, they might be in behind. 5 would be a humiliation, but Mana saves it first time and saves it second time. But not the third time. What a finish that was.
John seals the deal.
Alan Manners has probably been the man of the match here, and I'm getting beat 5-0. That sums it up.
Thanks, Aaron.
Kevin O'Connor, the Wexford man, formerly of Cork City. He's won a lotto, now he's won the cup.
5-0 in the cup final. When was the last time in the Irish League that happened?
There's been a few hammerings in the League Cup final over the years. I can't think of anything so one-sided in the FAI Cup. Maybe when I think it was Bray beat St Francis 3-0. Kevin O'Connor, well, he is such a good player. He was great at Cork City. He's been great at Waterford. He and the Blues are deserving winners. Talk to me about Tyreke's performance from the FIFA player's point of view. What did he do that really impressed you as a FIFA professional, Eric?
When he was going down the lines, he was doing pretty well. We have a stopping fake shot where you kind of put your foot on the top of the ball and dead stop, and usually the defender.
Oh, here's Aaron's reaction.
Well, that was a lesson. Tyreke, fair play, lad. You're easily the best player I've played in the tournament anyway. By far, the better team won, the better man won. Fair play. I just want to say thanks to Extratime.ie for letting me get involved with the tournament. It's obviously for a good cause in cystic fibrosis, and hopefully there'll be many more tournaments in the future. But as for this cup final, Waterford 5, Shamrock Rovers 0, Tyreke Wilson 5, McEneff 0. Fair play, lad. Well done.
Well, you know what? There's a lot to admire in what Aaron McEneff has just done there. First of all, he's drawn people's attention to Cystic Fibrosis Ireland. But second of all, he has taken it on the chin. He was second best today, and he's admitted that, and he has applauded his opponent. And there's a lot to be admired in that. Is that something we see an awful lot of in the FIFA world, in the esports world, Eric?
It's a lot of, like, say, for the cameras, they would go up, shake their hands, and usually the person that wins would go up, shake their hands, and then have an interview. They all talk nice, but then when everything quietens down, the cameras go away. It's usually whoever lost is like, I should have definitely beat him. But that may not be the case in this scenario, and I hope not. But very good game today, and he is very unlucky to come against a player that I'd imagine really did watch back the gameplay of Aaron McEneff and really did take advantage of it.
Well, we have had some high-scoring cup finals in the past. You would much prefer them to be high-scoring in a kind of a 4-3 sense or a 5-4 sense, like 1934 when Bows beat Dundalk 4-3, or 1962. That was another bit of a one-sided one like today. Rovers beating Shelbourne by 4-1. And as I say, in the last couple of years in the EA Sports Cup, the League Cup as it's called, we've had a couple of one-sided games. This tournament has shown another side to League of Ireland players. I mean, not just their gaming, but also the fact that they actually gave an awful lot of time for, firstly, the charity, and secondly, their fans. And Eric, it just goes to show that whether it's esport or normal world sports, if you want to put it that way, sport is sport, and it's all about community. It's all about getting people together. It's all about basically having a laugh. And if you can raise some funds for charity while doing that, that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's amazing, really. And I've met some great people from this myself. I just met Rushin because of this tournament. And I thank you as well for all of your expertise, especially in commentating, because I came in very clueless and I come out a little bit more knowledgeable. So thank you very much. And thank you to Extratime.ie and, more importantly, Cystic Fibrosis Ireland. So appreciate everything everybody's done. Hopefully we can do something like this again.
Yeah, well, in the FAI Cup 5 finals in the last 11 years went to penalties. There was no fear of that today. Another 2 of those finals, by the way, went to extra time. Today, well, not quite as even, not quite as neck and neck. 5-0 Waterford and Tyreke Wilson win against Aaron McEneff and Shamrock Rovers. The two lads were great sports for taking part, as were the rest of the players. Darragh O'Connor of Cork City, Danny Grant of Bohemians, Jace Kabaya, who had to play as UCD, but he was representing Shelbourne because UCD were in FIFA 20 and Shelbourne weren't, because Shelbourne hadn't been promoted by the time the game was released. Darren Cole of Derry, Tyreke and Aaron, obviously we've already mentioned. There was Cian Kelly, young Cian Kelly from St. Pat, who again stepped in really late, and a bit like Jace Kabaya, was actually really impressive, but sadly his results didn't reflect that. Cameron Saul, who gave us some of the reactions of the tournament, Eric Finn. I think that's one of the great things about this tournament. You actually see the players' reactions as they're playing, and you hear their comments as well. It's one of the things I really like about esport. It's something that I wouldn't have been overly familiar with before we did this tournament, because in truth, esport is something I took up out of boredom and the lack of real sport. But that's really cool that we get to see the reactions like that.
Yeah, it's his Cameron Saul was brilliant for his reactions. Even I still sometimes go back and watch that video because it made me laugh. But yeah, so I'd imagine that would only kind of progress as well. Say if we do have another tournament or so, people will become more themselves, especially on camera at home playing FIFA. It's not so natural to them, if that makes sense. So I'd imagine when time goes on, the reactions will become even more natural, and we'll get even more of them in. And yeah, it just makes for good entertainment for ourselves and the people watching from all over Ireland.
Yep, and of course Ronan Coughlin of Sligo Rovers, who was desperately unlucky not to get through to the final stages. He was very impressive as well. If I've left anyone out, I apologise, but all the clubs in the Premier League got behind this, as well as the players, and we're really grateful to them. We're really grateful to you for watching. We'd be even more grateful to you if you could donate to Cystic Fibrosis Ireland, if you possibly can. We appreciate that times are tough at the moment. Eric, just before I let you go, final word on Tyreke Wilson. How good is he in a FIFA player sense? I don't just mean in the context of this tournament. I mean, how do you rate him in the world of FIFA?
Yeah, I think he'd be pretty good. You know, I'd say he's probably better than all of his mates and stuff like that. I imagine he's better than I'd say he's in the top 15% of FIFA players in FIFA sense online. So if he did come up against most players, I'd say he'd be winning a lot of his games. But
how would he do against you, a FIFA professional, top 3 in Ireland?
Against me, he probably wouldn't stand a chance, but you know, he would have a good game. I'd make sure it's a good game. I'm all about a good spectacle for the fans, so yeah. I'd make sure it's a good game for everybody to watch and for everybody to partake in.
Well, maybe we should set up a game between you and him head to head. Well, that's it for the Extratime.ie Esports Cup in aid of Cystic Fibrosis Ireland. Again, thanks to you for supporting the Extratime.ie, despite the fact that there's no football happening in the real world, is going nowhere. There will be lots of articles, lots of news, lots of features in the next while, and I imagine we'll be back with some form of football, be it real or esport, in the next couple of weeks. Well, it won't be the next couple of weeks for real football, but it might be for esports. My thanks to Gareth Penrose, who put all of this together, and of course never looks for attention, and he's listening to us right now and probably cringing at the mentioning of his name. Eric, thank you very much. Where can we find you on social media?
It's example_XX without the E's. It's a handful, but so am I.
You certainly are. Thanks to everyone who took part. Congratulations to Tyreke Wilson and Waterford FC, the first ever Extratime.ie Esports Cup champions. All of this in aid of Cystic Fibrosis Ireland. Thank you, goodbye, and stay safe and look after each other.